Hey guys, Kristen Collins. Hope you're doing well. And this week I want to touch in about the release that so many of us are feeling at a cellular level. And how do we have the courage to step into the unknown and release so that we can make room for infinite possibilities that we can't even imagine? So would love your comments and your thoughts as you continue to share with me how this information is being received by you on, are you feeling it right now that there's just this major release going on? I know when I'm connecting with friends and community, there's a lot of conversation about how we don't want to go back to the gerbil wheel, the rat race, the I have to go to that event thing. And it's like, how are we showing up and releasing and setting boundaries and saying no to things that no longer serve us? So this conversation has just been showing up and weaving its way through my week. Like I keep laughing, talk about synchronicity, right? And so for you, are you feeling release coming on? And are you honoring that? And are you letting go? And for my experience right now, I can't put my finger on what is releasing. I woke up and I told my husband, wow, I had some very vivid dreams last night. I don't really remember what they are, but it was really about releasing things and letting go and forgiving and being grateful for the ride. But I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's releasing, but I am stepping through with faith based on past experience that it's making room for new. So do you have a time where you were scared of change or scared of releasing? And now you can look back at that and say, my gosh, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now I have this in its place. And are you leaving space for the unknown to enter? My previous life before this pandemic was regimented, and very, very full. And I'm now finding myself scheduling downtime and scheduling being off so that authentically different experiences or opportunities can bubble up and I can say yes to them and don't have to make a bunch of phone calls and cancel a bunch of stuff. So kind of hitting that tipping point right now where the schedule got a little hectic again, and I am having to now go back and say no to some things that are great and I want to do, and I love the people I'd be doing them with, but I simply can't. And so my question for you is, how are you managing that release? How are you articulating it? How are you being gracious? Are you being hard on yourself? How do you avoid having to go back and cancel things to make room by saying no and sitting in the now and being okay with the discomfort of not necessarily being able to articulate why? It's just a boundary set and it's a release that's going on, at least in my world, every conversation that I'm having. So I was really, really excited to visit that with you this week, because if you're not attuned to a release, maybe sit down and contemplate that and see if that's something that speaks to you. And maybe it won't, maybe you're not having the same experience, but I wouldn't be surprised if at a subconscious level, you're like, wow, there is a lot of change and it's not something to be feared. It's actually very healthy because we are always in a cycle of transition. Nothing is permanent, right? The only thing guaranteed is change. And as we know, it's through the discomforts and sometimes the mistakes as we move forward that we actually have our biggest opportunity for growth and awareness. But I think to summarize today about this release that I'm at least feeling is, while again, I don't have clarity on what this might look and feel like, I do have faith that it's all gonna work out to a point where I think it's making room for stuff that isn't even on my radar yet and I'm not even aware of. And I welcome the opportunity to live that life in flow by releasing and not trying to control every minute of my existence. So let me know if that speaks to you. I'd love to engage in dialogue on this topic because it's really very, very much vibrating for me right now. And as always, I so appreciate your likes, your shares, and your subscription. It really warms my heart in our interconnectivity and being able to have this shared space. So I hope you have a great week. I hope that you allow the release, that you welcome the cleanse, that you support the cleanse with positive, healthy decisions for self, set those boundaries and say no, and we'll see what next week brings. So until next time, be love. Bye.